We start talking a little bit about constellations, north circumpolar constellations, south circumpolar constellations, all these cool topics. Constellations are groupings of stars that are in the same region of the sky. Okay? So essentially what we've done through constellations and viewing the sky, we said, oh, there's some stars and they make a certain shape, and there's a mythological figure that we see in them. So let's group them together and then let's call them a certain constellation. And throughout the many years, we made up many, many constellations. But then in the 1920s, the Astronomical Union got together. They said, you know what? We got to sit down and make sure we got to decide what are the constellations. And we got to eliminate some and then keep it at a certain number so that people don't keep adding more constellation. So they sat together and they decided 88 constellations, and that's it. You can't add more. The sky is divided up into 88 regions with 88 constellations. 48 of them are old ones. By old ones, we mean the Greeks made them up, and before Christ, a little bit after Christ, and all of those time until probably about 100, 200 AD. 40 new ones, we mean they probably came from the Middle Ages and up to the Renaissance time, 1400, 1500. So they they combined some of the older ones with some of the newer ones, and then they said that's it. And then they got their names, and they're always in Latin to make them sound more formal, you see. And you can kind of see here the list of the constellations. Erase this here. So you can see here the constellation name Andromeda. I will tell you in the next lecture why the genitive case ending is important. In Latin, this is the possessive case of the noun. So Andromeda, Andromedae. Description, Princess of Ethiopia. Abbreviation, AND. The RA angle of Andromeda and the dec angle of Andromeda. So that gives you the position. Antilia, Antillae, and Apus, Epodus, Aquarius, Aquila, Aura, Aries, Auriga, Butus, Salem, Capella, Camelopardus, and stuff like that. And then you got the genitive case, the description, the abbreviation, the RA, and the dec angle. Okay? How many of them are there? 88. Okay? Now, as an example, I can show you one of the most famous ones, the one I like a lot. I always talk about this all the time. Orion, okay, the hunter. So you see here, this is the head of Orion goes here. This is the front arm, this is the back arm, and he's got the sword, and then the legs would be here. And if you looked, like here, you can tell the boundary. Orion goes in there. So we had to cut the sky in boundaries so that the constellations don't have war with each other over land territory. Of course, that was a joke. You can laugh a little bit. Just like we have wars over land and territory. Now, what are asterisms? Asterism is a little different. Asterism, you can kind of look at the sky, and as long as you make, oh, there's a bright star there, there's another bright star there, oh, there's another one bright, let me make a shape out of that. Okay? So as long as you can kind of see a shape, you can make an asterism. So you can combine either from one constellation or two or more constellations. There's no upper limit to how many asterisms you can make. So look at what they do. You might have heard of this very famous asterism, Great Square of Pegasus. What do they do? How do they form the Great Square of Pegasus? They take 3 stars from the constellation Pegasus that are really bright, and then they borrow 1 star from Andromeda. They say, can we have 1 star? I want to make a square, you know. And then this is the picture, what it looks like here. Okay? See, this is the star Pegasus. Pegasus is the horse, right? So you got 1, 2, 3 bright stars from Pegasus. And this is Andromeda, the corner of Andromeda. 1, 2, 3, 4. This star is from Andromeda. These 3 are from Pegasus. Well, because they look like a good square, that's an asterism. You're borrowing 1 from one, you're borrowing 3 from another. Okay? Okay, I'm sure you've all heard of this one, Little Dipper. Who hasn't? What's confusing to most people is they don't know the difference between the Little Dipper and the Little Bear. Okay? What's the Little Bear? It's the English version of the formal constellation Ursa Minor. Okay, in Spanish, how do you say bear? Urs, right? Latin Ursa, bear. Minor, minor, little. Little Bear is just the English version of the constellation Ursa Minor. Okay? But the Little Dipper is a portion of that, a little portion. Let's show you the, and then the Big Dipper, same thing. Big Bear is the constellation. Big Dipper comes from the Big Bear. Oh, let's go back for a sec. I'm going to show you those pictures. Okay, so you see here the Little Dipper, and it looks like this. And the Big Dipper looks like this. Now, if I had to draw the Little Bear constellation, I would have to put more pieces on this. I would have to put a head. I would have to put the legs. And then you see it looks like a bear now. This is the 2 eyes and a smiling bear. Okay? Do you see that? So basically, you form a head, you form the legs over here, and this is the tail. Okay? That's the Little Bear constellation. So what they did is just this portion of it, they made it the Little Dipper, okay, because it looks like a pan you can cook in, you know. You can cook water in and stuff. Well, same thing here. You see the pan, the handle? So if I had to draw a bear there, I would draw a bigger bear. Okay? So you see that? That's the big bear. How do you distinguish between them? Polaris is the end of the Little Bear. It never moves. So your homework this weekend is to keep looking in the northern sky. Go up 34 degrees. Look at the tip. That's Polaris. It's at the end of the Little Dipper. Throughout the course of the night, it's going to be moving like this. And then find Big Dipper. What's your clue to finding the Big Dipper? The 2 end stars of the Big Dipper, when you draw a straight line to them, which way do they point? Towards what? Polaris. Are they always going to do that? Oh, yeah. Because during the course of the night, it's going to be rotating. You're always going to be able to draw a straight line, and you're going to be pointing towards Polaris. If you can do that this weekend, I'll be so excellent. Tell me, I was able to locate Big Dipper. I was able to locate Little Dipper. I was able to do the straight line thing, and I found where Polaris was. Okay? Have a good weekend. Have a good vacation on Monday. We'll continue from there. The summer triangle, of course, its name tells you, it's visible in the summer months. And it's made from 3 individual, very bright-looking stars from 3 different constellations. You borrow 3 different stars. You borrow Deneb from one constellation. It's a very, very bright-looking star. You borrow Vega from another constellation, and Altair. And it basically forms a triangle. And let's see here what it looks like. You can see here. You see, Vega is taken from the constellation Lyra. And then you got here, Deneb is taken from the constellation Cygnus, the Northern Cross.
You see here that it's like a cross. So you take a very bright star from here, a very bright star from here, and the Altair is taken from the constellation. So, and then Altair is taken from the constellation Aquila. Then you see it forms a triangle. So you will not be able to see that during these months because we're going to be able to see the winter triangle now. So as you go towards summer months, then you get to see the summer triangle. And then you have the winter triangle is formed from 3 stars. Again, each star is taken from a different constellation, Procyon, Sirius, Betelgeuse. So what I would say for you, I would suggest you to view these stars at night during this month. We're February right now, February, March. See if you can find the little Polaris. See if you can find the Little Dipper. See if you can find the Big Dipper. And you should be able to look and see the winter triangle, Procyon, Sirius, Betelgeuse. Okay, so you see here, this is Orion, the hunter right here. And then you got, this is Betelgeuse. So the way you can look at Betelgeuse, it's a red-looking star. It's at the armpit of Orion, and we're going to learn about the meaning of Betelgeuse at the end of the lecture. And you can look at Procyon, and then this is Sirius. Sirius is very easy to see because it is the brightest looking star in the sky. There's no other star that looks as bright. So if you're looking at an object and it's twinkling, you know it's a star. And if it's the brightest looking twinkling object, it's Sirius. Okay, I'm serious about it. Okay. If you're looking at the brightest object in the sky that is not twinkling, that is Venus. Okay. Venus or planets don't twinkle, okay? So Sirius is the brightest looking star. So if you make a triangle, that's the winter triangle. So you should be able to see it tonight. You should be able to see it in the next several months. And then as you move over towards summer months, see this one here? Vega, Altair, Deneb. That's the summer triangle right there, okay? So you won't be able to see that now. What I do a lot of times is I put in stuff here into this picture, into this map. So another asterism here, Seven Sister Winter Pentagon. The Winter Pentagon is this one. You can make even a bigger shape. So you'll go like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's the Winter Pentagon. You can make Seven Sisters, and you can make other asterisms like that from different shapes that you are seeing in the sky. So that's basically what the asterisms are.